Bam. Okay. Switch this to this side.
What's
Okie dokie. Artichokey. What's up, guys? I feel like there's not a camera there. You know? And I'll put this here, so hopefully you can hear both of us.
okay?
All right, so you guys are both newer to real estate, so I think we should make some content that positions you as like an authority.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you guys some questions, and I want you to just pretend you're the best rock star real estate agent in the world.
Okay.
And you're not a better real estate agent than you. So let me ask you some questions. You ready?
Mhm.
All right. What's up, guys? So okay. One of the things that I hear all the time is that from people who are thinking about buying a house is they don't want to get pre-approved because they don't want to run their credit.
Okay.
And we all know that getting pre-approved is the first step in the process, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So is that true? When they just to talk to a lender, do they have to run their credit?
There are two types of running the credit. One is soft pull, and the other one is hard pull. And for them to get pre-approved, I believe the mortgage company can run a soft credit, which will not interfere with their credit report, but this will give them a pretty good idea what their credit score is and then go from there. So there are misunderstandings out in the market, and it's the job of the mortgage company to tell them that, or as an agent, we can guide them that soft fill is okay. So you will have some idea rather than going there blindly.
Good point. Yeah, there are two, soft pull and hard pull. I always tell people like when I'm working with a buyer and they're kind of like iffy, like, my credit is it's kind of close to where it needs to be. I don't want to pull it yet because I'm not ready. I always tell buyers like, listen, we could talk to the lender and they don't have to pull your credit at all. We could just get you started, figure out where you're at, and make a game plan to get you where you need to be so that way you could be ready to buy when you feel the time is right. So not always do they even have to pull credit at all.
Well, exactly. I have an example of that as well. Probably a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, I had someone interested in buying a house, and that was his number one concern. He was like, "No, I just got my credit up. I don't want them pulling my credit, and then it's gonna be, it's gonna hit hard on my credit, and it's gonna go down." He was really concerned about that, and then we figured it out, and he spoke to a lender, and he was fine. He had his game plan. He was all set to go. So
perfect. And did he get pre-approved, or he just has a game plan in place now?
he did get pre-approved.
Okay.
So
sweet.
There you go.
Nice. That's awesome. All right. So as real estate agents, one of the things that you guys do is help buyers find the best location. So in your opinion, what do you guys think is like in Central Florida? What are some of the best areas?
That's a good question.
That is a great question. And it depends upon, first of all, what the needs are. What are their requirements? If they have little kids, you need to have school and shopping and so on close by. If they want to go to a particular church, that is an important issue to them.
So what are like some of the best areas in Central Florida? Where would you recommend?
I would recommend where there is less traffic.
So nowhere? So they should move to somewhere else?
I am more familiar with Devonport, Winter Haven,
Okay.
Haines City.
Mm-hmm.
These
Polk.
areas are developing very rapidly, and the prices are still pretty affordable compared to some of the other places in Orlando.
Oh yeah. Polk County, I read, was one of the fastest growing counties in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
In the entire nation.
Is. And then you go from there.
Okay. What about you, Morgan? Like, if you were, so a lot of people always ask, what's the best place to move in Florida? Like, what are some of the best places in Central Florida where you would recommend people to go?
Central Florida, I would say Lake Nona area, just because, of course, like Mahmoud said, it's about what the buyer needs, what they want, family. But I feel like Lake Nona has it all. Very convenient. Obviously, we have developments. It's growing rapidly. Um, it's very family friendly out there. You're near everything. Any fast food joint that you could want, any schools, anything, and it's very close to surrounding areas as well. So I'd recommend Lake Nona.
Yeah, Lake Nona is awesome.
Mhm.
Only thing that sucks there is the traffic.
Right.
Traffic sucks in Lake Nona, but like you said, like somebody who's looking for like an active lifestyle, like they want to be around people and have
Exactly.
things to do. Lake Nona is definitely like one of those places where there's a lot happening. They call Lake Nona Medical City, so I know there's a lot of doctors
Right.
that are in Lake Nona. A lot of like medical professionals go to Lake Nona. You got the VA hospital there. They're doing some pretty cool stuff. You know what they used to have in Lake Nona that they don't have anymore? They used to have this bus that would drive itself.
Oh,
Do you remember the Beat bus? They had these buses, these little buses where you could get in there, and there was somebody in there, like, monitoring it, but the bus would literally drive around town on its own.
Oh, didn't it have, and it had like music playing and stuff
Yes,
like that?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And it was, I think they shut it down because it like, killed too many people.
Yeah, I know.
Like one too many people. But no, they do really innovative things there. They're talking about building the first drone taxi port
Wow.
in America in Lake Nona. I think maybe it's the first or the second in America.
mhm.
They've been talking about it for some time, but it's really cool. They're gonna have these like little drones that you can get, like an airplane that you can get in, and you could just go hop in the drone, take off vertically, and then go to Tampa or Miami or Jacksonville. And so they've been talking about that for a while.
See, it's super exciting stuff happening in Central Florida.
Yeah,
all the
Lake Nona's
time.
fun. I would say, yeah, if you were asking me like where's the best places to go, I would say Lake Nona if you want an active lifestyle and you want to be, around a community and close to people. St. Cloud is nice. St. Cloud is growing.
Mhm.
It's known as Soldier City. You got a little, usually, depending on where you're at, you get a little more land, it's a little more slower pace. There's not a lot to do in St. Cloud, but it's a little more affordable. You get a lot of people who move to like Kissimmee, Lake Buena Vista area because they want to be close to Disney.
Yes.
There's a lot of short-term rentals over there. So if you're an investor, that's a good place to invest. Polk County is one of the fastest growing counties in the entire nation, which is
Mhm.
crazy. It's massive. That's probably why. But you got very affordable prices in Polk County. And then a lot of people like downtown Orlando and stuff like
Right.
that. Again, for community,
Yeah.
nightlife. You've got so much to do here in Central Florida. Like I think about that all the time when people ask me, like, you want to live in Florida like your entire life? I'm like, where else would I go?
Honestly.
Where else is there? I mean, we've got theme parks, we've got nightlife, we've got beaches, we've got
Yeah.
Universal, we got Disney, we got Busch Gardens, we got
Everything.
Miami. Like the
Mhm.
economy's awesome. Hopefully we're not going to have property taxes soon.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, as far as in best places in America to live, I think we're definitely rated like top 3
Mhm.
that I know of. But in my mind, I think we're number 1.
Yeah.
Right, of
So,
course. And that's, I
absolutely.
mean, it's also the stats too, people are moving here all the time.
Oh.
It's growing, right? It's always constantly growing. We're constantly building.
Number 1.
There you go.
Number 1 state people move to,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Florida,
And I think the next is Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
A lot of people are moving there, but Florida is.
I don't get it. I hate Texas.
I
Controversial opinion. I've been to Texas and it's dry.
Oh, I wouldn't move there, but
No, I know.
a
Maybe
lot of
visit.
businesses are moving there.
There's a lot of businesses and stuff. So many people are hyped up on Texas. I'm like, it's dry. It's kind of boring. I don't know.
Just come over to Florida.
Florida's so much better than Texas.
It is. It is.
Florida over Texas all day, every day. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Okay, what else? What else can we talk about? So, I want you guys to have some videos, some clips that your sphere of influence people, they're going to see it and they're going to go, oh, okay, wow, what a professional. I need to reach out to them. They know what they're talking about.
Okay.
They're educated. So let's talk about. I'm trying to imagine. So Mahmoud, your crowd is going to be very different than Morgan's crowd.
Mhm.
Morgan, your crowd is probably going to be
A lot younger.
first-time home
Right,
buyers, younger crowd. Mood, you're going to know some doctors and things like that. So let's talk about that. If you were talking to somebody from high school
Mm,
that you went to high school with, and they're 22, 23, however old you are, and they're thinking about buying a house in their 20s,
mm.
what do they need to do? How much they need to save? What's their credit score need to be like? What should they expect?
Okay, that's a good question.
Let me give you the answers real quick.
Yes, please.
580 credit score or better.
Okay, right. She mentioned that.
So 580 or better, and then they're going to need roughly 3% down. 3% down. So if they're looking at buying a $300,000 house, they're going to need
Wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry. $300,000.
$300,000 house. They're going to need $9,000
Okay.
or more, right? Obviously, then they got closing costs, things like that. And then average mortgage payment for something nowadays, you're going to be like mid to high 2000s. Got it?
Okay, so
Okay.
580 credit score.
580 credit score.
Roughly
3%
3% down. So say for example, a $300,000 home,
You're gonna need
you would need
9,000.
approximately $9,000 or more, of course. Yes.
And then they should expect monthly payments, probably $2,500 to $3,500, depending on where they buy.
Okay.
So got it? Ready? All right. So Morgan, if you were talking to somebody that you went to high school with, and they were looking at buying a house in their 20s,
Okay.
what would you tell them to do? How should they set it up so they can?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say if they're wanting to, if they're around my age, they're wanting to buy their first home, super exciting. I would say their credit score, you're wanting to look at maybe like a 580 or higher.
Obviously, the better.
Of course, the bare minimum, like 580, bare minimum. But also for down payment, you're wanting to put roughly 3% down. So say for example, you're buying a home for $300,000, $9,000 or more, depending on closing costs and everything like that. Mortgages, you're looking at a monthly payment of about $2,500 to $3,500. Definitely depending on where you buy, but
Okay.
yeah.
What's the most important thing for them to set themselves up for success?
It's a good question. I would say,
As soon as they can.
yeah, exactly. So I would say speak to a lender. Obviously, that's the first step. We want to get them pre-approved, see what we're working with, and then we can get a game plan set up for them.
Perfect. All right, Mahmood, you ready for yours?
Sure.
Okay, so Zach, are we still rolling?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're thinking, who's gonna watch your
Wait.
video? Is it
Yeah,
red?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Red? Okay. So that was great. So now we're gonna switch to you. So that's kind of gonna be her, what your sphere of influence is doing, right?
Mhm.
First time home buyers. What is your sphere of influence doing? Maybe they own a home already, they want to downsize, or they're looking, maybe even to upgrade their lifestyle. So let's talk about that, right? All right, so I'll ask you a question and
Sure.
you go. Let me think.
Why are you the man? You guys see it?
I want to shoot a video with you here in a little bit.
Alright, that's it.
Okay. All right. So, Moon, somebody looking to downsize. Maybe they have a house that they want to sell, or they're looking to upgrade their lifestyle. What should they do? How should they set themselves up for success?
Well, that is a great question. When sometimes people retire, a lot of times they want to downsize because the kids are gone and they still have an active lifestyle and they really don't want a lot of other responsibilities. One thing they need to recognize is what kind of HOA fees there are, where they want to move, what kind of facilities that place offers for their active lifestyles, what other programs they have in their community. These are some of the important things. And obviously, they want to put their home on sale. the present home they want to sell and then buy a new one in the active community, which they want to downsize. And the important also issue is how many bedrooms they want, how many bathrooms they want, how much square footage they need, what kind of scenery they will like to prefer. Do they want to have a little pond in that area with no alligators?
Right.
That's kind
Beware.
of important. So these are some of the things. Should there be a place for them to take walks, or do they have pickleball? Or
Pickleball's a big one.
Right.
nowadays.
Pickleball is a really big one right now. Some players, do they have a ballroom dancing community?
Mhm.
Like for my wife and I, we love to go and do the ballroom dancing or Latin dancing. So these are some of the important issues they need to consider.
Right.
What is important to them?
You mentioned the active communities here in Central Florida. What's like one or two of the best active communities, like 55 plus, that you know of?
I am more familiar with Ponciana, Haines City, Davenport area. There are quite a few established communities, and now there is a lot of development taking place with new homes, and those new homes have excellent planning what the community is going to look like within few months.
Mm-hmm. Do you know any specifically that people could look for? Like if somebody came to you and was like, "Hey, I'm looking for an active 55 plus community," where would you take them?
Well, number one, they need to describe what exactly do they mean by active, what kind of activity. Then you as an agent can do the research in the new communities and also established communities. What are some of the activities do they offer which these people will enjoy? For example, one of the community where I personally live, they have 14 swimming pools. They have
That's a lot of swimming.
pickleball courts. They have ballroom community.
Mhm.
So that's
Where's
just,
that at?
that's just that is Salavita,
Solavita.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep, I've heard of that. Yep, that's a good one.
and then there is another one called Del Webb.
Del Webb's huge. Yes.
That is huge.
Yep.
They have a lot of different clubs, a lot of different activities.
Mhm.
So it all depends upon, first of all, narrow it down. What is 1, 2, 3? What are some of the important things they would like to do?
Right.
And then you guide them according to that.
Awesome. We got it. I think we got it.
Perfect.
What do you guys think? You guys
Wait,
want to
do
shoot
you
any
want
more?
us to ask you questions or no?
Yeah. Take some questions.
I guess it's kind of gonna be on the same subject of what you're asking us. So
Okay.
who are your people? Are they first time homebuyers? Typically, they're kind of everything.
I get it.
aren't they?
I'm right in the middle. I get everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get people from first time home buyers all the way to 55 plus. I
Right.
mean, and then everybody in between. People who are downsizing, upgrading. I think at the end of the day, right now, one of the most important things for most people, is that the house that they buy, they love their house. You want to love your house, but you don't want to be house poor,
Mm,
right? You don't want to be house poor. You don't have this beautiful house and then barely be able to live.
right.
You want to be able to, that's the thing about Central Florida, is there's so much to do. So I think the most important thing for people is picking a really good location
Mm,
and having a house that they can comfortably afford, which is tough nowadays. People got to be a little less picky.
mhm.
You're going to probably, depending on, I would say the average person right now I would recommend something like a townhouse,
Right.
right? Where they're a little more affordable. They have, you know, the landscaping is taken care of, the roof is taken care of, insurance is usually a little bit cheaper, and they're just going to be at a cheaper purchase price. And what that does is it allows people to go out and actually enjoy Florida. There's so much to do in Florida. You could go to Tampa and go to the, you know, watch the sunset. You can go to Cocoa and watch the sunrise. You can go to Disney and ride roller coasters or Universal, and you know, there's all Busch Gardens, and there's so many different things you can do, and there's so much nightlife here. The last thing you want to be is house poor and stuck in your house doing nothing all day long when there's so much out there to do. I mean, there's a lot of free stuff to do too. We have springs and hiking trails, and you know, there's a lot. But being able, the one thing that's kind of that I see across all generations, across all ages, is everyone right now is concerned with affordability.
Right.
So, like we talked about earlier, I think a big part of your negotiations when you're purchasing a home should be to get the seller to buy down your interest rate and to hopefully pay your closing costs. I mean, those things are very reasonable to ask for in this market. Now, what's going to happen next year or 2 years from now, I don't know, right? Everybody always tries to predict a market crash. I started real estate 10 years ago when I was 2015, when I was 19. And people have been telling me every single year, I'm going to wait for the market to crash. I'm going to wait for the market to crash. And I'm like, okay, good luck. Keep waiting. 2015 houses, I was selling houses for like 150,000, 170,000. That was like your average house in we'll just say St. Cloud in Central Florida. And I watched it go up. It was 180. Then it was 220. Then it was 250. Then it was 275. Then it was 300. Then it was 350. And nowadays it's 400,000.
That's pretty much average,
Average is going to be around 400,000. And hey, would I love a market crash? Absolutely. As an investor, I'd be happy with a market crash because you get to go in there and think about all the transactions that'll happen after the market crashes.
Right.
Do I really think one is going to happen? I don't think it's going to be the way people.
At least not in Florida.
And definitely not in Florida. Yeah, I think
Not in
we're
Florida.
have safeguards.
When so many people are moving here, that is not a sign of crash.
Right. We have kind of a protection bubble around us because there's so much immigration to Florida. And then on top of it, I mean, if they get rid of property taxes, we're going to see even more.
Yeah.
And, you know, from there, it's game on for us.
Yeah.
It's game on for us. So, answer the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we got it all.
Anything else? Any other questions?
I think that was good.
All right, cool.
Okay.
We did it.
Good job, guys.
I think we got a lot of content there. Hopefully I don't run out of storage.